Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your national television ORTM1. This is the time of your English program of every Saturday and Sunday. First, the main headlines. The President of the Transition, Colonel Assimi Goïta, received this week the report on terms of reference of InterMali Dialogue for Peace and National Reconciliation. When handing over the document, the President of the Steering Committee of the said dialogue, Ousmane Issoufou Maïga, drew attention to the prerequisite which begin by bringing the eyes of distrust. In 2023, the government worked on the orientation of the head of state with a view of laying the foundation for a new Mali. This is how the Prime Minister defined the result of the past year. It was today on the occasion of the ceremony presenting the government's New Year's greeting to the President of the Transition, Colonel Assimi Goïta. The National Symposium on Malian Football is launched this week. Lasting 3 days, participants will reflect and diagnose the problems that prevent our football from obtaining the expected result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to ORTM News. The President of the Steering Committee of the InterMali Dialogue for Peace and National Reconciliation, former Prime Minister Ousmane Issoufou Maïga, presented this week to the President of the Transition, Colonel Assimi Goïta, the report on terms of reference of InterMali Dialogue, a document which also includes thematic fact sheets, a communication plan, and the internal regulation of said dialogue. The chairman of the said committee drew attention to the prerequisite for dialogue, which begin by bringing the eyes of distrust. Sira Bacheli's report with the voice of Angèle Dambele.
The document editing by the InterMali Dialogue Committee was officially given to Transition President this week. Results of a map of missing in a report, reference terms indicating interest of InterMali Dialogue. This is therefore the end of the job that Transition President entrusted to the team on February 5, 2024. The drafting commission in their speech discussed the processes of the different meetings. According to Ousmane Issoufou Maïga, the chairperson of the InterMali Dialogue Drafting Commission, works down by the committee or during meetings allowed them to put things on the table as set of questions in order to bring forth the light of peace in Mali through dialogue. The latest things was the meeting about the implementation of reference terms for dialogue, duty of truth and loyalty to the homeland. The chairperson of the committee stood firstly for primitives dialogue, which are essential to its success. After listening and analyzing it, Ousmane Issoufou Maïga felt that we must break the heights of distress and fear of others. And this is the responsibility of a head of state to reconcile its sons and put them on the path to progress. This is surely the meaning of Transition President's commitment to dialogue.
In response to the wishes of the government, the President of the Transition welcomes the Committee of Prime Ministers and his team. He notes with satisfaction the result achieved despite the difficult context in which the transition is evolving. Ibrahim Traoré with the translation of Angèle Dambele.
Transition President was satisfied with the action of the executive towards the members of government, the head of states, declaring their duties in a particular difficult context welcomes the commitment of each minister. The government is working on the implementation of 4 major axes of its action plan, namely security in our country, political and institutional reforms, the social stability pact, and the organization of general elections nations. Faced with the challenges of national reconciliation and living together, President Assimi Goïta appreciated the good start of the InterMalian dialogue process. He did not fail to welcome the keying of general census data, otherwise RAVEC, which was held by the former partner. This data is essential for updating electoral lists and producing biometric identity documents. Transition President encouraged the government to going forward in order to meet Malian needs. He also relies on fellow citizens to face current and future challenges.
Closing of a major meeting for peace in Kidal, initiated by the Higher Council of IMGAD and Alize. Strong recommendations were made by the participants for broad participation in the InterMalian Dialogue. Reports Sidi El-Medi Ak Al-Baka and Gassou Jara for translation.
Many ministerial delegations and some members of the High Council of Transition have come to Kidal to talk about peace. A meeting has been organized by the Superior Council of IMIGAD. This meeting is about the promotion of peace, social cohesion, living together, and the reconciliation in the region. Many members of governments, as well as the members of the High Council of Transition, were in Kidal to reaffirm the will of state and to restore the integrity of the territory. The Minister of Communication spoke. The state is a force. The state guarantees the interests of the population. The government is open to everybody to achieve InterMalian dialogue. Everyone must involve in InterMalian dialogue so that it can be a success. This new dialogue will be a solution. On the contrary, the last dialogue has not been a success. In fact, for this new dialogue, we will find a solution. The situation was very hard for the government to finalize the implementation of the peace agreement. There was a setback. Some geostrategical problems prevented us from making progress. We decided to put an end to these strategical problems in order to promote InterMalian dialogue, which can help us to resolve all our problems. They have come from Niger and some other regions of the country to support this good initiative. For many Tuareg communities, this new dialogue will be an opportunity to strengthen their honor and their dignity. All decisions that have been taken by every community will be vulgarized in order to promote peace and reconciliation everywhere in Mali.
Mobilization of support for the farmer. The initiative is from the Collective of the Defense of the Military, CDM. By organizing the Season's Defense and Security Day, the CDM aims to raise awareness among Malian youth of greater cohesion and solidarity around their army. Update with Benko Fofana and Gassou Jara for the translation.
From its creation to nowadays, our movement contributed to the defense of our courageous military forces. We have always been on the side of our military forces in order to defend the integrity of our territory. Many of them have come to support Malian army forces. Nowadays, our army forces need support from us. This army deserves the support of each of one. For this reason, we have to be on the side of our army forces in order to support them. The representative of the movement spoke. Each of us must take the responsibility to safeguard our motherlands. Again, we have to sacrifice ourselves for our nation. Many people have given blood to help this movement for the defense of the army forces. It was an honor to valorize and also to support our military forces for their devotion and their determination. Our military forces set our country free. In this case, we have to be on the side to support them.
First, with the repeated failures of our teams, especially the senior national team, the ministry in charge of sport decided to organize the national symposium on football by bringing together all the players in the sector. For 3 days, participants will reflect and diagnose the problems that prevent our football from obtaining the expected results. Update with Arjumatina and Drisaka Dambele for the translation.
Following the repeated failure of our senior national team in search of a major title since 1960, and especially the recent elimination of Eagles in the quarterfinals of the 34th CAN, the ministry in charge of sport, in collaboration with Malian Football Federation, decides to solve this problem by organizing a national symposium on Malian football. Started the 5th this March, a historic day for Malian football because it was on March the 5th, 1972, Mali played the final of the CAN in Yaoundé, Cameroon against Congo-Brazzaville. This scientific and technical exercise brings together Malian football actors. During 3 days, it's been questioned to conduct strategic reflections on the state of Malian football and make relevant proposals aimed to improve the performance of our national team. The results of our national selections, especially the senior national team, are not up to expectations since the independence of our country. From African Games in Brazzaville in 1965 to Yaoundé in 1972, Tunis in 1994, and most recently in Ivory Coast in Bouaké. It's time to change. It's expected at the end of this 3 days symposium relevant recommendations to bring our football out of the marasmus.
Students from FLSL English Department organized the 14th edition of the Excellency competition, a way to improve their level in different subjects they taught at school. As usually, candidates who partake in this competition are from license 1 to 3. Report Angel Damele.
Grammar, composition, social issues are in short subjects of excellency competition organized by FLSL English Club. For this 4th time, more than 60 students kept this appointment. They were from English department 1st to 3rd grades.
Each year we organize this question to push them to improve and to learn more about English. As we know, as I said in my speech, English is not our mother tongue, and we are even not in English-speaking country as officially. So we may just create a way to put them to just love this language and work on it. The group which are participating in this event, it is we organize it from license 1 to license 3 to, as I said, to push them to love English and improve their English communication skill. Precisely, we guess that license 1 are just at their first level. It's not something too easier for them to speak English, but with this kind of a competition, they will know what English has important in this country or what English has an important in the world.
The godmother stands for these students' ideas in promoting English language.
I'm feeling very privileged and very honored for this choice. And as I said in my speech, this club is a milestone and they should be really encouraged. Yeah, so it's a great pleasure for me to be here this morning, and I've listened to the different, presentation of our young students, and I'm very proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them. They are great achievers.
To be candidate at this excellency competition, you need to be selected, and the selection process as just.
The selection criteria, of course, it is very simple. I think from the beginning of the competition, so we try to select 2 different students from each group. I mean from the group 1 till the end of the group. Then you try to make a kind of competition among them, among different groups that exist in L1, L2, and the last one is L3.
Students who partook in this competition are self-confident, they said.
I'm relying on myself to be the winner because the job that I just did, I'm sure that I'm going to be the winner. By relying on myself, the success of a debate or such a competition does not depend on hard working, but you should know how to do the way by respecting the criteria and doing everything that is recommended by the member of jury. For doing that, we can get what we want. So for this, I'm relying on myself to be the winner of this competition.
I thank all the representatives of this competition, my classmates, dear English Club of the Fleshel, and it is such a privilege and an honor for me to be part of this competition. I really appreciate it, and it is an opportunity for students from different classes in order to change different perspectives from different people. So this is also an opportunity for us to improve our skills to be betterment in the future. So I just appreciate, and I'm wishing such competition each year for us and for the future in the country.
The winners of the fourth edition of Excellency competition are 3 groups from first grade, 2 from second grades, and 2 from the third one. Looking forward for the next one.
March 8th is the International Day dedicated to women. In Mali, many activities have been done throughout the country to celebrate this big day for women. Angèle Dambélé has done some interview and brought out how the Association of Belles Dames du Golfe, has celebrated March 8th, 2024. Follow.
The beautiful ladies, otherwise les Belles Dames du Golfe, also celebrated March 8th, the International Day for Women's Rights. They have shown their uniqueness through their traditional performance. The chairperson of the association said that they are committed for the success of the transition, Mali in a new dynamic, that of the rebirth of the state, and this with the commitment of the female junta. Just to tell you that the woman's place in Malian society remains useful, a truth of all times to identity.
This is all for today magazine, but stay with us for the English lesson, a lesson prepared and presented by our teacher Amadou Balde. Follow.
Hello everybody, welcome in your English class. Aujourd'hui, nous allons parler de la langue anglaise. Et chaque fois que nous parlons de la langue anglaise, il y a une question qui revient chaque fois. C'est la suivante. What is the difference between British English and American English? Parce qu'il y a bel et bien une différence entre ces 2 sortes d'anglais sur le plan de l'accent, de spelling, l'épellation, des expressions et même sur le plan grammatical. Prenons un exemple pour une meilleure illustration. For instance, prenons un mot comme water dans le British English. Nous voyons ici give me some water. Give me some water. Ici, le T est prononcé. The American will say give me some water. Give me some water. Nous avons vu ici que le T a été remplacé par D. Prenons un autre exemple, comme notice, remarquez. For instance, le British dira, have you noticed something? Have you noticed something? As-tu remarqué quelque chose ou avez-vous remarqué quelque chose? L'Américain, par contre, dira, have you noticed something? Nous voyons ici que le T entre 2 voyelles devient D dans l'américain English. Ce n'est pas ça la seule différenciation. Nous avons aussi la différenciation sur le plan du spelling, qui veut dire l'épellation. For instance, we need to rent a flat. We need to rent a flat. Dira un British. Nous avons besoin de louer un appartement. L'Américain dira, we need to rent an apartment. We need to rent an apartment. Il y a des mots aussi comme candy, qui veut dire bonbon. Kids love candies. Kids love candies. Dans l'anglais américain, le British dira kids love sweet. Kids love sweet. Nous avons des différenciations avec le mot airplane, que dira l'américain. Le British dira aeroplane. Sur le plan des expressions, nous avons aussi quelques différenciations. Par exemple, pour faire des offres et des suggestions, le British utilise shall comme modal. Shall I help you set the table? Shall I help you set the table? Dois-je vous aider à faire la table? L'américain dira plutôt should I help you set the table? Should I help you set the table? Sur le plan grammatical, ce qui est très important, il y a beaucoup de différenciation entre ces deux sortes d'anglais. Par exemple, lorsque le British utilise les adverbes comme already, never or not yet, ils utilisent le present perfect. For instance, Yasin has already eaten. Yasin has already eaten. Yasin a déjà mangé. Nous voyons ici que c'est have plus le participe passé du verbe à conjuguer qui a été utilisé, le present perfect. Par contre, l'américain dira Yasin ate already. Yasin ate already. L'américain utilise le prétérit, tandis que le British utilise le present perfect. Et notre cours d'aujourd'hui, ce n'est pas pour faire un jugement de valeur, mais c'est pour vous permettre de reconnaître ces deux sortes d'anglais, la différenciation entre the British English and the American English. Tenez-vous bien, sur le plan académique, c'est le British English qui est utilisé en général. Make a note of it. Merci d'avoir été avec nous tout le long du cours. Thank you and see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of English time of today. We'll be together next Saturday and Sunday for another English time. May God bless Mali. Goodbye.